Hello, hello, hello. It has been a while to say the least. Oh wow, yeah, it's been a while for sure. If you don't want to know where I've been for the past couple of weeks, then skip to this time frame. So something about me is that I have a habit of putting too much on my plate at once, getting overwhelmed by it and then dumping all of my responsibilities into a trash can, so that I can ignore it and pretend it isn't there. Even though at the back of my head an annoying voice says, yeah, remember this and this that you have to do, which causes me to take all of that dumpster trash and lay it back onto my plate, making me feel again overwhelmed, repeating this vicious cycle I was in for a long time. Until now, I realized that I can only really focus on two major things a week. Well, the smaller things on my plate are things that I don't have to focus on every day, only when I have time. Essentially, I'm going to be posting a lot less, but I want my videos to be a better quality than I was producing before. Well, I think that sums up about everything I wanted to say, and that's enough of my personal life, so let's get right into Season 3's rewrite and redesign. Let's go.
Cat Noir, what's going on?
You know I'm innocent, don't you, Bugaboo?
Stop playing around and calling me Bugaboo. This is really serious.
I'm gonna find the real culprit and save my tail. I'll get back to you.
We've been staying pretty fairly close towards what the original story is and how the writers originally wrote the story. We might went away from it, close to it, maybe we even interlock with the story, but now for Season 3 we're going completely off the rails. It is not the original, it is not the way that it was meant to be and how it is just completely in this rewrite the way that I want it to be. In Season 3, everyone is either 17, turning 18, or is already 18. Marinette's birthday happens off screen, and we see in a flashback when talking to Alia that she has gotten a scooter from her parents. She adds in that her friendship bracelet from Adrian isn't on the handle. When Adrian hears this, we see him blush slightly since he is starting to develop feelings for Marinette near the end of Season 2, and has given up on pursuing Ladybug since she is showing no interest and he wants to respect her boundaries. They enter inside the school to be faced with Lila, the true villain in the Season 3 rewrite. She returns as the role of Hawkmoth, and we'll see soon how that comes to be. Lila is firstly a much better liar than we first met her. She doesn't go for unbelievable lies, but rather twists the truth, since all of her classmates are unreasonably gullible in the original. So in this rewrite, Lila needs to feel out her classmates first to find out how far can she go with her lies. Lila is cunning, manipulative, and resourceful. With Marinette disliking Lila, we have Marinette's character be tested. The goody two-shoes cracks when around Lila, and anger inside Marinette is born. People start to turn against Marinette, and not because of Lila's acting and lying skills, but because of how she's able to manipulate Marinette and the situation into her favor. Everyone turns on Marinette, saying she's not cool and needs to stay away. Everyone except for Adrian, surprisingly Chloe, Alia, and Nina. And they all stay for different reasons. Adrian sees through Lila. He is able to tell when she is lying and how she's able to get a rise out of Marinette. Chloe dislikes Marinette still, but she dislikes Lila even more. Not to mention that Chloe has known Marinette for a long time and knows Marinette is acting in a way that has been aggravated out of her. Chloe will even defend Marinette when Alia speaks to Marinette about Lila. Alia will say she is out of line and needs to apologize. This is when Chloe steps in saying, "Shouldn't you know your best friend better by now? Marinette might be angry at Lila, but Lila is the one making snarky remarks and fueling the fire." With this, Marinette is shocked at Chloe defending her. She thanks her before Chloe awkwardly leaves, realizing she just defended Marinette, someone whom she dislikes. Alia then apologizes to Marinette after finding out about Lila tormenting her shortly after. Nino is defending Marinette thanks to Alia telling him the truth as well. We see Adrian takes a seat next to Marinette, and this will stay for the rest of the season. This is how Adrian and Marinette will be able to grow closer together. Marinette will start to learn Chinese through Adrian since Season 1 and Season 2 she has been learning the basics through her mother. Adrian will ask Marinette out to premieres for company since it gets quite lonely. At the premiere for Ladybug and Cat Noir's show, we see Marinette as a waitress to be able to help her parents and converse with Adrian. Chloe sees this, but instead of being rude, she hides her jealousy and tries to make civil conversation with Adrian and Marinette, both of which are happy to experience a pleasant Chloe. Unknowingly to them, Chloe is faking it to be able to talk to Adrian, since last season he warned her that he wanted her to be nicer for them to be able to be friends. When Kagami arrives, tension builds between her and Marinette. Chloe notices this mainly because she's building tension against Kagami too. Marinette and Chloe bond slightly over the fact that they don't like the same person. This leads into Chloe giving advice to Marinette about Lila that leads into Kagami once again. Chloe says, "Don't let Lila get to you in front of the class. Keep your composure and be the bigger person, even if it's for pretend. People will see her true colors, but not if they are being blinded by your rage." And Marinette will ask, "Is yours pretend?" Chloe will smirk and say maybe. Marinette laughs, then says, "Do you think it's fair of us to dislike someone just because they like the same person as us?" Chloe then will reply, "I want to say yes, but I know the answer is no." Marinette will then get up saying that they should give Kagami a proper chance, leaving us with some nice development between cast. Marinette will take Chloe's advice and no longer let Lila's comments, snickers, laughs, or rumors get to her. She also starts to focus on the people who have her back and not the ones that left her side. By now, it's episode 4, and a bittersweet moment will occur. Marinette will lose her grandfather, the same one she just reunited with her father. During an Akuma attack, her grandfather will run in to save Marinette before she is able to transform into Ladybug, and in doing so, he loses his own life. Marinette frantically tries to defeat the Akuma to use Lucky Charm and reverse the damages. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. Marinette now knows the limits of her power. She cannot recreate or heal someone's life. She falls onto her knees, crying alongside her father. In this moment, Adrien runs to comfort her since he is aware of the situation since he is Cat Noir, but he notices something. The Kwame Tiki floating next to Marinette. Next moment he forgets and falls next to her, hugging her to comfort her. Episode 4 is a hectic episode. We see Marinette's limits. We learn Kwames are shielded by magic, but only if the miraculous holder wants the other person to be able to know that they are who they are. And since Marinette is unaware of Adrian's seeing, she cannot give permission to remember, hence his loss of memory seeing Tiki. And she also doesn't want Adrian to know that she is Ladybug. That is another reason why he does not remember. And this is when a monumental occurs in Hawkmoth, whom has slowly been opening up his heart again to the past season to his son, has now just become the reason someone is dead. Gabriel, in a frenzy, destroys his lair. Only Emily is staying in contact. Emilia, sorry. He decides to let go of being Hawkmoth and lays the brooch in his safe. This is also when we see, as the audience, we learn that Gabriel is Hawkmoth. Before this, he sounded, acted, and looked different in comparison to his civilian life. We also would have gotten hints about him wanting to save someone that was close to him, but we wouldn't know who. And this is also when we see Emilia for the first time. So this is quite a lot in one episode. That then goes into episode 5. We see Marinette is in a state over her grandfather. She is busy in grief. She wants to let go of being Ladybug since someone she loved has been killed, and has thoughts running through her head of why couldn't I save him? Why did he jump in front of me to save me? And on the other side, Adrien is about to go see Marinette to see how she is doing. It has been a week since it happened, but before doing that, he checks in on his father, whom he has noticed hasn't been out his bedroom much. Entering inside, a shock for Adrien causes him to fall onto his knees. His mother lays on the bed in an coma state, and his father beside her. Adrien asks many questions after an hour of silence. His father doesn't answer many, besides that he kept her away from him because she's sick and in a coma, and he didn't want him to see her in this state, and that he was trying to fix her. Adrien explodes. He screams out in tears that he can't do anything and that she needs a doctor. Gabriel answers, "Science cannot solve problems caused by magic." This stops Adrien in his tracks. Gabriel continues, "Your mother used a jewel called a Miraculous, the Peacock Miraculous, like the one Ladybug and Cat Noir used, but hers was faulty, broken. When she used it, each time she got a bit more sick." Adrien presses, "Then why did she use it if it was making her sick?" He will respond, "I do not know. All I care about is how to bring her back, but my efforts have caused another family to lose someone they love." Adrien waits for an answer, in shock, before realizing, Are you? I am." Adrien holds back his tears before asking, "Are you still?" Gabriel lets go of Emilia's hand, taking Adrien to his office. There he shows the Moth Miraculous and Peacock Miraculous. Gabriel finally responds, I'm putting away my hope for Amelia to return to us. I'm no longer Hawkmoth. I cannot be. Not after all that I have done. I'm planning on throwing them into the ocean so no one pursues this dark road that I have. Adrian stops him. Why not give it to Ladybug and Cat Noir? He then stops himself, realizing that his father would most likely go to jail. Gabriel and Adrian go out into a body of water and throw them away. Adrian notices where they fall to take them back to Ladybug at a later date. The following day, in episode 6, Cat Noir calls Ladybug for an emergency meeting. Ladybug comes pretending to be okay because she's still dealing with the loss of her grandfather. Cat Noir hands Ladybug the moth and peacock Miraculous. Ladybug is in shock and asks him how he got them. Cat Noir lies, saying that he has been working day and night to find him since Marinette's grandfather died by his hands. Ladybug presses him for more questions before being stopped by him saying that he will no longer be Cat Noir and to pick up his Miraculous at the top of the Eiffel Tower. The following night, Ladybug is left alone on the rooftop, crying happily that it was finally over, but mourning at the loss of her grandfather and her partner. Ladybug retrieves the ring. Marinette wonders where Adrian has been. She's starting to realize she loves him, since the only person she wants comfort from is him. Adrian is staying at a distance. He doesn't know how he'll act since his father is the cause of her grief. In episode 7, Ladybug announces that Hawkmoth is no longer a threat thanks to Cat Noir. Paris celebrates, and alongside it are Adrian and Marinette's friends that are also worried about them. Lila takes this opportunity to see if she can find Ladybug. She's able to find her because a celebration is hosted for Ladybug and Cat Noir thanks to defeating Hawkmoth, and Lila now knows Ladybug as Marinette because she follows her after she's being Ladybug at the ceremony, and now she goes back to her house and she follows her and she sees, oh, Ladybug just now entered Marinette's room. She decides to visit Marinette then, and when alone rummages through Marinette's things and finds the moth, peacock and many other Miraculous. Marinette walks in on Lila talking to Trix. Lila makes a run for it, transforming mid-jump out the building. With her is the moth, peacock, fox, mouse, and horse Miraculous. Ladybug runs after her, but with the fox and horse Miraculous activated, Lila is able to escape. The world now knows Lila is a person of interest. Ladybug announces that she has stolen many Miraculous and may potentially use it to cause havoc like Hawkmoth did. Paris is now in a frenzy. People of Paris are scared knowing that someone now holds more power than Hawkmoth ever did. While many Parisians are scared, Alia and Adrian are on a mission to help Ladybug. Alia comes to Marinette asking her how she can help. Marinette, in shock, asks her how she knows her identity. We see flashbacks of Alia putting the pieces together. In season 1, we see that she now figures out that, why did Ladybug know my name in this situation? Why did she know my classmates' names? Her discovering that Ladybug has their age voice, her realizing Nino is Carapace, she's Volpina, and that Chloe is Queen Bee. It's just too many superheroes from one class. She started to suspect Marinette being Ladybug when they were fighting her and Lila. So she decided to kind of sneak on and scope Marinette's place. She was chilling out in the street, watching Marinette's house, and boom, one day Ladybug escapes. Ladybug jumps out one day, and now, why does Alia remember, but Adrian doesn't? Because, so we see that Adrian earlier, saw her, but then completely forgot. Now Alia saw her, but now she remembers. And the reason why is because Marinette wanted Alia to know in her heart. Responsibility is what prevented her from revealing her identity, but she always wanted to tell her best friend. That's why Alia was able to remember this information. Marinette cries to Alia, saying she has failed as guardian of the Miraculous. Alia asks Marinette if she wants help, and Marinette, now knowing Lila knows her identity, and why Lila didn't magically forget is because deep down Marinette wanted to shove down Lila's throat that she is Ladybug. Remember those times where the Lila kept saying, oh no, me and Ladybug are the best of friends, we are always hanging out. Marinette always wanted in those moments to be like, no, you don't know Ladybug, you're not friends because I'm Ladybug. So the fact she wanted to be like that is the reason why Lila was able to remember. So this is why it's still important to be secretive and to hide the Kwamis, because the magic can only do so much. When you are not controlling how you feel about who you want to know and all that, then anyone can actually know if they just see the right thing at the right moment. Since the potential villain knew her identity, her allies could now know it too. Alia calls Nino and they make a plan with Ladybug. After the initial shock from Nino realizing that Ladybug is Marinette, they then go into action. Alia creates an app where people will let Ladybug know when they see Lila. Since Alia no longer has the Fox Miraculous, it's her way of helping, but she'll find another way soon. Helping, and Marinette gives Nino his Miraculous full time alongside the charm to not be akumatized. They decide to go to Chloe's hotel, give her her Miraculous and charm alongside to never tell anyone their identities and to change her own. Marinette and Chloe then commence to change their superhero forms. Chloe gains wings since her heart is lighter than it was before and she has less rough edges. You can see that on her boots and on her mask and by her shoulders. It kind of goes into a pollen look. It was inspired by, when there's pollen on a honeybee's legs. It's essentially like that, but it also represents her becoming more of a softer person. Marinette Ladybug's costume also changes, and their names then become Lady Justice and Vespera. Yes, Queen Bee, Chloe will get this name that her cousin or sister got. Yeah, her sister got. So Zoe never becomes the thing in the show. I think she kind of was a last minute ad. So she's going to take up the name Vespera. Now only is to find Cat Noir. It's episode 9. Lady Justice, Vespera, Carapace announce that Queen Bee and Ladybug have retired since Lila knew their real identities. They don't reveal who the identities are, they just say that the villain now knows who they are and that's why they're retiring. They ask the people of Paris and the real Cat Noir to go to the Eiffel Tower. All must make signs with their hands and bodies. The point is for Cat Noir to make the pounded fist or the curtsy he would always do towards Ladybug, anything that Lady Justice will be able to recognize as Cat Noir's behavior. The point of the rest of Parisians is so Lila can't find out Cat Noir's real identity by snooping in on the scene. Lady Justice is in shock about Cat Noir being Adrian. She asks Alia to visit him and to hand him back the Miraculous since she is a little worried about Lila still watching her, and to meet up at Marinette, and this is what now Alia is telling Adrian, that if he wants to talk to Lady Justice / who is Ladybug, then he needs to go to Marinette's house. If he wants to talk to Carapace, then go to Nino, and if he wants to talk to Vespera, then the hotel, and if she wants to then talk to Ryuko, then he needs to go to her house as well. And yes, Alia is now wielding the Dragon Miraculous, and I was too lazy to find a name for her, so I'm just going with what Kagami's name was for the Dragon Miraculous, which was Ryuko. When Alia leaves, we see Adrian in slight turmoil. He is happy to help again and to not fight against his father. But now his father, he now knows, killed Marinette and Lady Justice's grandfather, the woman he has loved in 2 forms. It's a really confusing state for him that he has cut short when Lila's first ever attack happens. With so much fear going rampant, she akumatizes and gives the person also a sentient monster. She stays back, not using the rest of her Miraculous. She wants to learn it one at a time. She doesn't want to give out all her cards at once. This is the first sentient monster that is witnessed. The whole hero team launch into action, ending the episode in their launch towards danger. And then we go to episode 10, which is the last episode because Miraculous Ladybug no longer has unnecessary filler episodes. An episode needs to have drama, needs to have character development, and needs to have a purpose. And so that's why there's only 10 episodes in the season. It wouldn't be like 24 like it actually is. Making the season end earlier. The hero team fight off the Akuma, Alia struggling slightly at her new powers, but besides that are able to fight off the Akuma and Amok. The victory feeling doesn't last since they know Lila has more power than she's leading on at the moment. The episode ends with Marinette and Adrian talking about how insane it is that they were with their partner and best friend all of the time. Marinette reveals she likes Adrian since she knows Adrian is fond of Marinette and has revealed he loves Ladybug. It's enough confirmation for her to kind of bite the bullet and just tell him how she's feeling. Adrian blushes, saying he likes her too, and we see Marinette blush before looking back at the moon and Adrian still looking at her slightly. The scene then pans back to Lila and we start to see the effects of her using the Peacock Miraculous. For Amelia, it damaged her physical body. For Lila, it will be her sanity. We see her talking and twitching to someone. whom is her father, who isn't really there. She snaps out of it, realizing that she's going slightly insane, and we leave her with just screaming out in anger, ending the episode and the season, and with many mysteries of what's going to happen in season 4. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I spent a lot of time on it, and I'm actually really happy with how this came out. So yeah, just subscribe if you want to see season 4's rewrite. I'll try and make it a lot better, like I did make this one better than season 2 and season 1's rewrite. Bye!